of complaining, whining, getting angry, pissed, frustrated. And are you addicted to thinking negative thoughts? You can't stop thinking negative thoughts. You can't just get over that inner negative chatter. You just cannot stop thinking that worst possible scenario. Is that you? If so, keep on watching. So, hello and welcome back to Quantum Dynamic 8 Recreating Life and Living. Hi, I'm Trishi, and in this video, we're going to talk about if you are addicted to negative thoughts, inner chatters, constant ruminative brooding, feeling devastated, feeling like things just cannot get over from this devastating zone and get better, where you are addicted to negative thinking. The feeling of brooding, complaining, feeling anxious, feeling like things are not going to work out, feeling anger, feeling frustrated actually makes you feel powerful, actually makes you feel like life is in your control, and you actually resonate to that possibility more than any other possibility. It feels more than natural for you to expect that things are about to go wrong. Like, it's so easy for you to expect that worst possible scenario. Like, you can think of 100 different worst possible scenarios, things going wrong, the negative thoughts, because you really feel relaxed because all of that goes on in you. You feel like, wow, this is such an old friend. This has been there for such a long time. Pain and suffering are such long lost friends, which has been there forever in my life. And I just feel so duty bounded to this aspect. So, the duty boundedness also comes from that state of consciousness where you feel like you owe it to feel a certain way. So if you are anxious, your heartbeat has to increase, you have to be stressed, you have to be tensed, you have to feel like things are just not going to work out and expect the worst possible scenario, get depressed. You are programmed to take that route. So every time something goes wrong, you're like, all right, rerouting the car to the direction of worst possible scenario now. And you start to orchestrate in that simulation because you are so used to it. Like, every time you try to think things are working out in your favor, you are expecting things to get better, you're not that familiar with it because most of the experiences you've had were on the other side of the spectrum where things didn't go right. So you're like, oh, I'm too used to things not going right. So I'm going to expect more of this because by chance, if something good works out, it will. But I'm going to stick to things not working out because what if they don't work out? I'm going to be disappointed. Human beings don't like getting disappointed. So every time you feel disappointment, every time you feel frustration, every time you feel like that expectation of this has to go right, this has to happen in a certain way, your specific person has to say some particular dialogues, you literally feel duty bounded that, oh my god, my specific person has to say these things. And if your specific person is not saying those things, you're like, how could my specific person not say those things? My happiness depended on this. Now I can't be happy anymore because you think you owe your relationship, your current circumstances, whatever is happening, to feel a certain way. You feel like you cannot feel good and not feel worried, because if you don't worry then something will go wrong, because in a way there's a programming working that if I worry maybe things will be in control, they'll not go that wrong. And that's programming working in your consciousness, which is making you worry, chant negative thoughts. And in fact, you may even feel like, oh, if I think negative thoughts and expect things to go wrong, they actually go right in my favor. So I'm going to stick to this consciousness, and I'm going to repeat this because life has been pretty good, even with those negative thoughts. So why shift? Why change? So these are some prevalent reasons why you're not being able to move out from that consciousness of inner chatter, things not working in your favor, you feeling hopeless, and getting into the zone of you feeling hopeful. You're kind of even scared, like, should I trust feeling hopeful? Should I trust thinking things will work out? Like, what if it doesn't? Like, I don't want to be disappointed. Like, it's better to expect things not working out, and then if it works out, all right, like, I get something at least. But if I expect things to work out and then it doesn't work out, oh my god, I'm going to be so disappointed. I don't want to be hurt by expecting things working out and then see things not working out. Like, oh my god, I don't want to walk that route. And that's the kind of state of consciousness that literally makes you adhere to thinking like things will not work out in your favor. So every time you feel that sensation of I need to complain, remind yourself that do I really need to complain and expect things going wrong because these are just thoughts. You think that your negative thought is like a conclusion, like you've said something negative, you feel like this is it because you resonate to it, you feel that fear beneath it. So that fear beneath it overpowers your amygdala, and you literally feel like this is it, bro. Or you literally freeze. But you think that frozen state is conclusive, but no, it's not. It's just one thought. Every thought is a probability. So if you're thinking like things are not gonna work out, I'm doomed for life, that's a thought. When it resonates and feels more real, is because you've experienced getting doomed in many situations and you're associating with that and you're thinking of those possibilities and connecting them all together and then feeling overwhelmed and threatened and shaken, and your whole body is getting into that dimension of excess of cortisol zone where you're about to have adrenaline fatigue, burnout, frustration because you are repeatedly ruminative brooding and expecting things to go wrong. So you're keeping yourself in that stuck sensation, which is just increasing your cortisol level. So instead, what you need to realize is that every time you want to think a negative thought, remind yourself, all right, this is a probability. I can think of a probability of things working out too. Wherever you have this energy of, I'm so addicted to feeling bad, you need to realize that the pain is causing a sense of pleasure in you, and there's a hormonal disbalancing, weirdly horrible situation happening where you're feeling that soothe sensation from relaxation, from pain. It's like, slap me, kick me, punch me, and all the BDSM states, and torture me more. I feel so good. I feel so aroused. That's what is happening. So every time you think negative thoughts, remember this, like, I'm aroused by the negativity and things just that are hindering me. So I need to be aroused by things working out in my favor. Or you can just be neutral, like things work out, whether they don't work out, there's always a solution to every problem. So instead of the problem, worry, tension of things not working out, what's the solution? What's a way to be having more clarity? What's a solution that you can practically be solution oriented than be problem oriented? The more you think of the problem, you're bound to be stressed. You're bound to feel like, oh my god, things are not going to work out. Worst possible scenarios are also a probability of this. That's like permutation combination of trying to figure out like what are the various probabilities coming out of this scenario. But all right, this is the problem. Where is the solution? What is a sure shot practical solution? If you can't believe, you can't just get into the state of things are working out for me. All right, how can things work out for me? What is a practical solution to this? You're single. How do you get a guy that vibes with you, and where do you meet a guy that vibes with you? You need to attract money. How can you attract money if you're having money blocks? What is the solution to come out of the money block? Is there a job change that you need to do? Is there change of your strategy that you need to do if you're a business? If there's health issues, what is the solution? Do you need alternative healing medicine, or you need to go to a doctor? You need to come to a state of realization. If it's mental health problem and you're like having ruminative brooding and having that constant state of anxiety, why are you addicted to it? And also people hold on to anger when they have a lot of rage for what they have been through. Like people who have been through trauma have been through a lot, so it's natural to feel rage from time to time. So you need to realize that why am I holding this anger? What kind of reality in the past have I not been able to forgive yet? What is the grudge I'm still holding on? So it can be like you were humiliated. Like, how could they humiliate you? So, beneath humiliation, there is anger stored, and that programming that every time I feel humiliated, I have to feel anger, rage, and shame because I was humiliated. And you become aware of that consciousness of people could do that to you, and you could be in that position where people were just making you feel bad. So the wrath of how dare they do that, and also the wrath of how dare I feel like that, how could I go something like that, goes on in a perpetual cycle of suffering with thoughts and ruminative brooding coming up in people. And that's normal when you're healing from trauma. So feel your feelings, rant your heart out, and once done, realize that when I rant and complain, it's because I'm just taking out the anger. But beneath that anger, beneath the rage, beneath the grudge, all that I'm holding is a desire to be freed from it. So, what do I need instead? So, if you were humiliated, you want to be respected. If you are having relationship issues, you want to be in a relationship. If you're having money issues, you want to get paid. If you're having health issues, you want to be healthy. So, the solution is you want to be healthy, be in that relationship, have more money coming, have that job. So, what is the solution that will take you more towards it? What can you do to work towards your solution and manifest the solution into existence? Instead of complaining, what can you do today to resolve the issue? What can you see to see changes? What can you do to see changes in the situation instead of expecting things to just be horrible and sleep off that trauma and just feel like you can just dream it off and just be in your depression zone for like 14, 15 days and just put yourself in that quilt and never get out, switch off all lights? That's one part of the solution. Another part is like switch on the light, sit down with a pen and paper and chalk out a plan of what is the solution you have. If you can reach out to somebody who can give you the solution, what is the solution that you're looking for, and how can you find a resolution to it, and what are some of the fast forwarded resolutions to this problem that you can manifest right here, right now, without panicking. And this kind of mindset will help you to come out of that state of always being in that sunken place of doom and gloom. And you'll be able to manifest states of feeling ease, high vibe, and relinquished in the essence of being alive. And happy because you're alive, because happy because you're living life, happy because you're vibing with life, because you're just happy because you're alive and grateful and happy to just be. And the more you kind of have those negative thoughts, it's also because of the programming of like, what will people think? What are people thinking? What are people doing? How could this person do that? So it's like mostly unprocessed emotions that stay stored. So, more you process your emotions, let out what is holding you back, you'll be able to hold more space to move towards a state where you're moving towards solution than brooding over what's not happening, but rather focusing on what can you do to make it happen instead. Thank you and love and light to you. Have a wonderful day ahead.